If an investor comes here and buys a piece of land and it takes 10 years for the case to resolve and yet the money is tied up in that dispute, that investor will not encourage another investor to come here. So we are a very big stakeholder, and that is why we must always get budgetary increments to be able to deliver on our mandate. My Lord, the Principal Judge, let me write on the protocol that was outlined much earlier so that I don't mess it up as you also mentioned. Good afternoon. Oh, it's like you are hungry. It is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you all to this important occasion as the Judiciary launches the second National Court Case Census Report 2025. This event marks a defining moment in the journey of the Judiciary of Uganda. Today we are not merely unveiling a report, we are reaffirming our commitment to continued pursuit and reliable case statistics to guide decision-making, strengthen resource allocation, and enhance effective case management across all court levels. In statistics, those of you who have done some statistics, we have a saying that figures don't lie. If the figures are accurate, they don't lie. You can also have inaccurate figures, but figures don't lie. I want you to pick that report after here and then look through it and you see where you stand, either in your court as an individual or holistically, like for some of the courts where we, like Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, where we have collegial courts. But then other courts where you have individual justices and individual judges. That should give you a pointer on where you stand. And then in strategic management, we have a saying that if you can't measure, you cannot manage. If you can't measure something, then you can't manage it. So that's why we have this report. It measures our output. It measures our problems. It measures what we need to do. Now, purpose and scope of the census. The 2025 National Court Case Census was undertaken 10 years after the last census that was conducted in 2015. 10 years is really not good. Its primary objective was to establish an accurate and verifiable record of all pending cases across every level of the judiciary, from the Supreme Court to Magistrate Grade 2 courts. The census captured data as of 12th January 2025, referred to as the census night, and examined cases by court. You see, because we keep on filing, even when we were counting files, the cases were being filed. So our census cutoff point was the census night of 12th January 2025. And examined cases by court level, case type, stage, age, subject matter, region, and vulnerable groups involvement. So all those were classified. Children, cases involving children, cases involving women, etc. The result is centralized and comprehensive caseload profile that lays a strong foundation for strategic planning, improved case management, and targeted interventions to reduce case backlog. The constitutional and policy context. The mandate of judiciary is stipulated under Article 126 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and which is to exercise judicial power in conformity with the law and with the values of the people of Uganda. Our constitutional mandate is central to the rule of law, democratic governance, social stability, and national development. The judiciary that functions efficiently inspires confidence in the citizens, promotes economic growth, protects the vulnerable, and upholds peace and security. For the judiciary to perform this mandate effectively, it must be guided by accurate, reliable, and timely data. This report, the second of its kind for the Uganda's judiciary, comes 10 years after the release of the inaugural National Court Case Census. Over this period, we are pleased to celebrate not only the judiciary's remarkable progress in generating comprehensive and insight analysis from case data, but also the expanded coverage and increased adoption of our digital case tracking system, namely the Court Case Administration System, or what we normally refer to as CAS, and the Electronic Court Case Management Information System, what we refer to as ICMIS. The 2025 Judiciary National Court Case Census exercise strategically leveraged the judiciary's existing digital infrastructure. Courts with functional systems were enumerated using ICMIS and the web-based CAS. At the time of data collection, CAS was operational in 73 courts nationwide, while ICMIS had been rolled out in 13 courts. And as you know, we are going to expand this reach, especially ICMIS, and that expansion program is on. For the remaining 193 courts that had not yet transitioned to digital case management, a customized Microsoft Excel-based data capture tool and a manual data collection instrument were deployed. This multiple model approach ensured full inclusivity and uniformity in the enumeration process, regardless of the technological readiness of each court station. Apparently, we established that there were even courts that did not have both CAS and even the Excel, the normal Excel, which you can populate in data. So we had to improvise. Few though, but kind of like an embarrassment to us. In other words, they were using the manual system, just recording in the register. Through the application of exploratory, descriptive, and diagnostic statistical methods, I'm sure many of you who have done research know what I'm talking about, the National Court Case Census Task Force derived actionable insights from the consolidated data set. Additionally, natural language processing techniques were applied to support text analysis, including mapping parties to their respective categories, assigning courts to regions, and generating word clouds to visually present the most prominent case-related facts in the report. So, what is the importance of data in the administration of justice? For a long time, one of the most persistent challenges confronting judiciary has been absence of a comprehensive and verifiable information in the court caseloads. I'll give you with 64,937 cases, bearing the largest caseload between the two courts. Case type distribution. Criminal cases dominated. Now, this is also very strange. We have more criminal cases than civil cases. Criminal cases dominated with 65,709 cases, followed by civil of 44,911. You mark the contrast. And land, which was 33,496 cases, among other categories. This distinction sometimes can be blurred. I don't know why we distinguish between civil and land. Now, then case age profile. Approximately 72% of pending cases are less than 2 years old, while 2,327 cases have remained pending for over 10 years. Now, this is also not good. Have 2,327 cases which have remained pending for over 10 years, indicating a significant backlog, particularly in the High Court. High Court has 25,098 backlog cases, and the Chief Magistrate Courts 13,128 backlog cases. Now, although I have not indicated here, for the Court of Appeal, as of this date, I know at least for the Court of Appeal, they had 623, which are 10 years old in the Court of Appeal. And for the Supreme Court, there were 31, 10 years old. Regional disparities. The Central Region reports the highest backlog with 16,224, while the Northern Region has the lowest backlog at 3,915. Subject matter value. The total subject matter value of pending cases that are civil in nature is 14.2 trillion, of which 10.73 is at the High Court level and 3.36 trillion at the Court of Appeal, Constitutional Court. Commercial cases accounted for the highest total subject matter value of 1.72 trillion, while family cases had a total subject matter value of 1.5 trillion. Small claims cases recorded a total subject matter value of 15.77 billion. This is now for the small claims. This amount is equivalent to 7.0% of Uganda's 2024 GDP, highlights Judiciary's crucial role in the timely resolution of disputes involving substantial economic resources that are vital for national development. Resolving these pending cases would foster significant economic benefits. Apparently, the public out there do not know that Judiciary is a significant contributor to economic development. If an investor comes here and buys a piece of land and it takes 10 years for the case to resolve and yet the money is tied up in that dispute, that investor will not encourage another investor to come here. So we are a very big stakeholder, and that is why we must always get budgetary increments to be able to deliver on our mandate. Workload ratio. The analysis reveals that each judicial officer has an average of 305 pending cases and 85 backlog cases. The Court of Appeal, Constitutional Court, has the highest ratio, with one person handling 647 cases for pending cases, and one person handling 358 for backlog cases, while the High Court has a ratio of one judge per 620 for pending cases and one judge per 222 cases for backlog cases, indicating a need for targeted resource allocation and process improvement, meaning that we must have at least a fully constituted Court of Appeal, and at the same time we must have an increment of judges at the High Court level to be able to reduce this ratio. You see, this ratio, the way it is generated, maybe not go into calculations, but you get all the total justices and then you divide the caseload that is pending in every court. I wish to extend my deep appreciation to the Honorable the Chief Justice Emeritus, Justice Alphonse Shigamoyo Windoro, for authorizing and championing the implementation of the National Court Case Census 2025. I also wish to acknowledge the Honorable the Deputy Chief Justice Emeritus, Justice Fisher Butera, for his leadership in steering the Judiciary Case Management Committee during both the conceptualization and execution phases of this census. I think if you look at that photo, although I was not professionally dressed, forgive me, but this is the team that came up with that decision, and Sarah Ranga then was the chief registrar. So this is how we conceived this. I was then the principal judge. And of course, forming these teams that actually went on the ground was very critical. And I thank the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, who was chair of the case backlog, the Judiciary Case Management Committee, for spearheading this. My sincere thanks go to the Judiciary Case Management Committee, Judiciary Case Management Technical Committee, and the National Court Case Census 2025 Task Force for their diligence in ensuring effective data collection, cleaning, analysis, and eventual production of this report. This was not a simple exercise. To the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, thank you for your invaluable contribution in designing the data collection tools and guiding the data quality protocols that underpin this census. Finally, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the judges, registrars, ICT staff, office supervisors, court clerks, record officers, office attendants, and all judiciary staff whose commitment and tireless efforts made this census exercise possible. Thank you so much for listening to me for God and my country.